Let's begin biotyping. We're going to be looking at the distance between a person's heels as they walk. And here we see that if a person's within that 2-inch range, that is what one would describe as a backward faller. And both of these walkers are within that 2-inch range. In this next video clip, let's first look to the person to the right. You can see the shoes are bringing the heels in a bit, but that person is still within that 2-inch range. As we look to the person to the left in the sneakers, we'll see the walker is now outside of that 2-inch range. And that is descriptive of a torso sway walker. So we have a backward faller to the right and a torso sway walker to the left. Two different biotypes. Again, you can see the heels here are within that 2-inch range, and the person to the left outside of the 2-inch range. And we'll see as they stand still for a moment too, the distance between the heels are what we're looking for. And what that person's walk does to impact an intervention, that is what this lesson plan is about and how we could use biotyping. Here we see these walkers and we think first, perhaps they're forward fallers. But again, if you look at that distance, there is at least within that 2-inch gap that would describe them as backward fallers. Here we look at these two walkers, and the person to the right can be within that spectrum of the torso sway walker. Let's take another look. They're walking towards us, and sometimes that changes it. Now you can see that the heels are within that 2-inch range. So often when a person walks away, they're walking normally as you're making the assessment. And it shows us that we could change our walk dependent upon circumstances, which is valuable for interveners. In truth, they're both backward fallers. Let's take a look at the next clip. Now we had that person earlier to the left who we thought was a forward faller perhaps, but as they're walking forward here, we see that actually there is that 2-inch gap as they're walking. They turn away a little bit. They're still knowing that they're being watched a bit. As they walk forward, watch how the heels are staying within that range, especially right there. Both parties are within that range. In the next clip, you're going to see a couple who have obviously been holding hands for a while, and two different walks here. The gentleman, you're going to be looking for his backward fall, the distance of that 2 inches. But as the woman turns and she gets her balance and they walk along in the store, that walk where she's crossing in and staying so on alignment is within that forward faller walk. And see how she's crossing right in. His stance is wider, hers is very in line. It's almost as if she is walking on a line. This gentleman, if you all take a guess, I'm assuming you're going to say torso sway walker, and you'd be right. And so we see here clearly, if we're approaching a person and making that kind of walk, how does it impact us? Are we backward fallers as we have here? Are we moving in a way that opens up the conversation? Does it close the conversation? That's all that biotyping is about, is learning how to use the tools of nonverbal cues and get an understanding, a better understanding how best to communicate to a person, and knowing that our walk, how we walk, and how others walk towards us can impact our decision making and how receptive we're going to be and perhaps how close we might be. So as biotyping is taught in this lesson plan, we learned that there are 3 primary biotypes: forward faller, backward faller, and as you see here, torso sway walker. Use it to your best. Good luck.